Russia's turtle tanks may look ridiculous, covered in layers of crude, extra armor made up of sheet metal, grating and even logs, but that doesn't mean the protection doesn't work. Forbes reports. All that extra protection may make armored vehicles slower and harder to control, but it could also dull the impact of the explosive. First-person view drones that are ubiquitous along the 800-mile front lines of Russia's 3-year war in Ukraine, the article emphasizes. That's why Ukrainian drone teams are trying to find new solutions to destroy such enemy equipment. In particular, some of the Ukrainian UAV operators are dropping Dragon drones on Russian tanks that spew thermite to burn through additional armor with molten incendiary gas that reaches temperatures of 2,760 degrees Celsius. Soldiers exposed to thermite have 10 seconds to escape before suffering fatal burns, the US Army concluded in a 2000 study, Forbes explained. The publication cited the example of a group of Phoenix drones of the State Border Service of Ukraine, which is conducting combat operations to the east of Konstantinovka in the Donetsk region. This group clearly demonstrated the tactics of the termites during the repulse of a large Russian mechanized attack. The Phoenix team managed to destroy 2 tanks, 2 armored personnel carriers, 2 infantry fighting vehicles, and an engineering vehicle. The border guards are putting up worthy resistance, the State Border Service noted. Forbes noted that most of the strikes were carried out by explosive FPV drones, but in one case the group landed a termite drone, which is primarily used to fire raids on Russian camps in dense forests on the roof of a turtle. The drone then poured molten metal, burning through the vehicle's upper armor. This is not the first time a Dragon drone has set a turtle vehicle on fire. It happened in October under different circumstances. Instead of colliding with the target, the drone hovered over it as it fell, spraying thermite down until the tank was reduced to ashes, the article recalled. But blowing up the burning one, Russian assault group might not stop the rest of the Russians from advancing. Russian troops outnumber Ukrainian troops in most of the most critical sectors. Konstantinovka is no exception. Destroy one assault group and 2 more take its place. It doesn't help that, with the recent Russian occupation of the ruins of Donetsk, the Phoenix drone group and the adjacent 28th Mechanized Brigade are now defending a 5-mile deep salient east of Konstantinovka that's surrounded on 3 sides by Russian forces.
The Kremlin said Wednesday that a Russian citizen was freed in the United States in exchange for Moscow's release of American Mark Fogel, but refused to identify him until he arrives in Russia. According to Associated Press, Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov told reporters that the unidentified individual would return to Russia in the coming days, and his name would be revealed when he returns home, unlike during past prisoner exchanges between Moscow and Washington, when Russians and Americans were released simultaneously and their identities were revealed right away. Recently, work has been intensified along the lines of the relevant departments. There have been contacts, Peskov said in a conference call with reporters. And the result of these contacts has been the release of Fogel, as well as one of the citizens of the Russian Federation who is currently being held in places of detention in the United States of America. This citizen of the Russian Federation will also be returned to Russia in the coming days. Asked by reporters if the Russian released as part of the deal could be Alexander Vinnik, Peskov said that the name of the man being freed would be announced upon his return. Vinnik, arrested in 2017 in Greece at the request of the US on cryptocurrency fraud charges, was later extradited to the United States, where he pleaded guilty last year to conspiracy to commit money laundering. Fogel, an American history teacher who was deemed wrongfully detained by Russia, has been released and was returned to the U.S. on Tuesday in what the White House described as a diplomatic thaw that could advance negotiations to end the fighting in Ukraine. Fogel was arrested in August 2021 and was serving a 14-year prison sentence. Steve Witkoff, a special envoy for U.S. President Donald Trump, left Russia with Fogel and brought him to the White House, where Trump greeted him. Fogel, who is from Pennsylvania, was expected to be reunited with his family.
Россия освободила Марка Фогеля, бывшего сотрудника американского посольства в Москве. Он был приговорен к длительному сроку заключения за контрабанду наркотиков. В Вашингтоне возвращение Фогеля называют важным этапом в украинском кризисе. Ну а западные СМИ обращают особое внимание на высокопоставленного чиновника из команды Трампа, который подключился к диалогу с Москвой.
В последнее время по линии соответствующих ведомств была интенсифицирована работа, были контакты, и результатом этих контактов стало освобождение Фогеля, а также одного из граждан Российской Федерации, который в настоящее время содержится в местах лишения свободы в Соединенных Штатах Америки. Этот гражданин Российской Федерации на днях тоже будет возвращен России. Естественно, таким договоренностям предшествует весьма и весьма скрупулезная работа переговорная. И, конечно, такие договоренности, они вряд ли способны стать переломным моментом, но в то же время по крупице это определенные шаги по наращиванию того самого взаимного доверия, которое сейчас находится на низшей точке.
Были сообщения американских СМИ о том, что спецпосланник Трампа Витков вчера встречался с президентом Путиным, причем более 3 часов. Все-таки была такая встреча?
Мне нечего вам сказать по этой теме. У меня никакой информации по этой теме для вас нет.
Трамп рассказал, что в среду может быть обмен еще один американец. Действительно так или нет?
Мне тоже по этой теме нечего сказать.
А правда, что России передадут Винника, Александра Винника?
Подождите, гражданин, когда будет на территории Российской Федерации, то будет известно его имя.
Участвовали ли третьи страны-посредники в организации обмена Фогеля?
Нет, в данный момент нам не о чем сообщить.